Hello everybody and welcome back to Field of Glory 2 and the next army comparison of the Tournament of the Rise and Fall of Carthage. So we're here today looking at the Carthaginian forces in the fourth round. This is, make sure I'm actually doing the fourth round so I don't talk. Yep, there's a fourth round. This is Carthaginian versus Spanish. And I will do apologise if there are any inaccuracies or anything I say with the point cost. This is just a general army comparison of what you could choose in any combination. So, but of course, ladies and gentlemen, please comment below wherever you are to talk about all the other different comparisons that I'm saying right now. So we're going to have a look and see if we can see any major or distinct advantages between the two armies. So we're going to look at the Spanish. I thought it'd be interesting to look at the Spanish forces first. So as you can see, starting at the top, we have the noble cavalry, which is just the generic cavalry superior protected light spear swordsman. If we were to look at the Carthaginian list, elephants again, elephants. They are able to get a good selection of cavalry here, from armoured veteran to armoured superior to normal superior. Oh wow, lots of superior, sorry. Wow, so that's 4, 5, 6 units of cavalry they're able to muster. So generically having the sorry, let's put the hot seat mode on. Brilliant. Yeah, have the advantage here with the cavalry, so there could be an issue here. But also being able to use them 2 elephants, which are costly at 60 points. Spanish are in for a dark ride here. I think the only way the Spanish could really counter that cavalry is to max out the cavalry, have all the light javelin cavalry. But the Carthaginians can bring 5 units, we can bring 4 units. It's not looking good cavalry wise, but also the elephants may pay a factor into that. So coming down to here, we've got 3 units. So I think if I had to, I would have to choose the 3. So depending on the terrain type, of course, would have to be careful. If I was playing this map, I don't think I would choose cavalry. So we'll just talk about what I'm playing here. I don't think I would choose cavalry on here at all. But we do have these Cantabrian warband. I've never actually seen this unit before. I think I probably have, but not really noticed them. They're undrilled heavy foot, so of course terrain dependent with what terrain you're fighting. A good unit there, but remember, looking at the Carthaginian list, heavy foot, and then a mix of mediums, but majority, a good quarter of the army could be heavy foot there, so there's no distinct advantage there. And we are, of course, impact, swordsman, average protected. Still not bad, but still a mixed bag. So we probably would have to choose all the cavalry here, I think, to think about it, to at least trying to counter the Carthaginian players. So depending, like I said, of course, it all determines what thing. But for this map here, we are sitting pretty with a lot of good slopes, what could be defended. And I think we would have to choose all this impact foot to actually back up. I think that's a lot of warriors, though. A lot of warriors in there, and I don't know still if that would work out. This is actually not a difficult slope on the right. This is a steep decline, and we've got plenty of slingers and javelin troops. 240. So that's, wow, that is. We could punish the Carthaginians here with the lights. We could get up to, what's that, 12, 16 light units to their meager. Does that 5, 6 units? But yeah, I do apologise if I misread anything. That would be interesting, but that's a lot of points in lights. I think I'd probably just go for the dominance thing, because remember, I want to be shooting his elephant up more than anything else. It's a mixed bag list, but I feel the Carthaginians here have the advantage, the cavalry advantage, the elephants, the African spearmen. I don't know how this would fare. I think it's all dependent on that terrain, and I think we'd have just to bash out. But like I said, my great philosophy is, if you have trash, have plenty of trash, because at least then I'll outnumber him with troops. Yeah, it's not a pretty list. It's not a pretty list. Not for what the Carthaginians are going to bring. So we've got a good 4 units of heavy warband units, supported by some cavalry, but by a truckload of light troops to harass. I think in that combination of where the terrain is, if we could harass him with a lot of the light units before he gets into combat, I think we'd do an impact there. But then of course the impact of when we actually fight in that battlefield. So it's going to be a tough choice. I'd love to hear your comments below. My money seems to be on I seem to be leaning on the Carthaginian forces. We've only just looking at it briefly in the preview army button, but I've got to say, give it a go with the Spanish forces, because they terrain dependent. because the Spanish are they are swordsmen, and they're impact as well, aren't they? The impact swordsmen, and I think they would do well supported in some rough terrain. But like I said, all dependent on the terrain there. But still, really thumbs up. Looking forward to seeing how this prevails on my game I play as well in the tournament. So there we go, mixed bag at the moment, but still leaning towards the Carthaginian forces here. So we're going to have a quick to the next there. We're not really going to put a officer down because we don't particularly have to. So we're going to look at the Carthaginian list here. A strong list straight away. Strong list cavalry, strong list elephants. So if we look at the list starting from the top, we have three war elephants. Of course, one thing to be worried about the Spanish list, they get a lot of lights, a lot of javelins. Javelins will punish my cavalry if possible, but also the elephants. So we've got to be careful there if this is a combination. I would actually choose, even at 60 points, I think I would choose all three elephants to be sat behind the line, ready to charge in after the lines meet. So looking at that, and of course we've got the, what's that, 4, 5, 6 units of cavalry to the Spanish's 3 units. But like I said, this is all dependent on terrain and what factors are going to limit that. But if it's an open field, I think I particularly would go all the cavalry units to really dominate, because like I said, they've got mainly the medium foot that affected by the cavalry and my heavy foot, so it leans back towards the advantage of the Carthaginians with the cavalry and of course the standard heavy foot they've got. And then we come down to the light javelin horse, which I say we've got one more than he can have, which is, it would be good for him to use that anti-cavalry tactics, that shooting down my cavalry and my elephants and using his light javelins to actually take my elephants down. But you've got to protect your elephants, because that plus 250 POA, mamma mia, that's going to hurt people. Coming down to the heavy artillery, I still don't see a point for it in this list. There's better units to spend that 36 points on rather than actually a artillery piece. I would choose all of the warband units here. Heavy foot, impact, swordsman, and it's a big blob of men. 58 points. It will dominate a Spanish unit in impact phase, and I think it would chase them all down. Like I said, use them as that glass hammer. Use them as remember, they will drop if they get flanked. They will hurt, but use them as that glass hammer. Hit hard. Watch them fly through their ranks if you're getting a good combination. And then we come down to the backbone, which is 5 units of African spearmen, which I would choose. Like I said, I think we'd probably go just a bit like that. I think the African spearmen would protect the elephants until the elephants are free enough to charge in against the medium or the heavy foot of the enemy, and then mercenary hoplites. But like I said, if this was more of a rocky output, we would just go more of the lesser units like the Spanish themselves, the Italian foot, the Phoenician, Ligurian foot, and coming down to the light, we need to counter his lights. Because is this the max? No, it's not the max, because we get 2 we get 3 light cavalry already selected for us, and then it's what we had. So I think I'll probably get all of them. But yeah, it's still sways towards the Carthaginian advantage here. But if the Spanish player plays well and understands what he has to do, he's got to shoot the cavalry up, shoot the elephants up, not get bogged down in an open field. Because if this is an open field, let me just check what this is actually fought on. So this is actually fought on a Mediterranean agricultural. So we're going to expect a lot of obstacles. So that could fall back into the Spanish's advantage with obstacles and rough terrain. So dice gods, are you with us? I hope so. So it's going to be a skill of the player, skill of using that of course, that terrain. So I think I'd probably have to have a couple of things. Spanish 42 points. How much do they pay for them? 42 points. There's no difference. So it leaves us 29 points left, which probably would be just some light javelin cavalry to harass. So pretty so far. Like I said, looking at the Spanish list and my list in conjunction there. Actually, I like this. Look at this. I'm glad I did it. So we've got a lot of the Carthaginian cavalry, the elephants that could hurt, but the medium foot on the Spanish side in the correct position could advantage them quite a lot. But also the lights that would dominate. We could have really pumped the lights out if we wanted to. But even saying that, the Carthaginian forces here, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of the light still. But yeah, I'm still leaning toward Carthage. Use your elephants wisely. You could dominate lots of these units and they will just drop and drop. But impact swordsmen against offensive spearmen, really. Because if we look at the backbone of the Carthaginian, which is mostly the African spearmen, which are offensive spearmen plus 100, we got the swordsmen plus the impact infantry. So I'd say the Spanish with the infantry there are slightly better than it would be. But money's still on Carthage here. A decent Carthage player would really use his elephants in that combination and use that cavalry output. But like I said, terrain dependent. If it's the agricultural map, money's on the Carthage here. Let me know what you think below, ladies and gentlemen. But it's going to be a hell of a fight regardless of whatever nation is playing what. Click that like, that subscribe button, follow Slitherine, and of course we'll see you on another battlefield in the 5th round coming up very soon.